Thanks everybody for coming. This is awesome because this was a brainchild we had 4 months ago, thinking about a lot of different inputs about what we're going to do at South by Southwest, how we're going to start recruiting young students and get them interested in Team Detroit and getting our our message out there, and just really trying to get a lot of swirl in our agency about just feeling like doing something good. And it was a really fun meeting because it all came together, and it really didn't change much from after that first meeting. And it was really simple. Let's throw a competition out to all the college students in the art schools and the ad schools, and give them a brief, and the winning teams get to come to South by Southwest, and they get a great idea made. They help an amazing organization, and the winning team is going to get to have a paid internship with us. Okay, let's do that. And now we're here. So it's wonderful when a plan comes together, and we couldn't be more happy to have the teams here. And it's really exciting to kind of now I'll be able to go sit and have you guys have the awkwardness up here. So welcome. We have 3 teams. We've got teams from VCU, from SCAD, and from UT Austin. And yes. Hometown favorite. Yeah, right. And the brief was simple. How do we help to turn the lens and how to help promote the idea of composting, all in service of our great client here, Passion Murray's organization, Detroit Dirt. So again, a lot of people came together to do this, and now it's time to turn it over to you guys and see what you did with it. So we're really excited. Presenting first from VCU, Aldo Padilla and Rob Stone.
So this is our video. Let's watch it.
Oh, I was gonna say it.
When I was 12 years old, I used to ride my bicycle down to an apartment complex down the way where all of my friends used to hang out. Now, this apartment complex had an amazing community of people that always have gatherings, that always have parties, and that always have lots of dancing. Now, I was 12 years old. I was in 7th grade. I was scrawny, short, and lanky, and I wanted to dance, but I didn't know how to. It wasn't until I was singled out by Jasmine Castillo. Jasmine Castillo was taller, she was older, and she said, I'm gonna teach you how to dance. And she would bring me into her family living room and she'd teach me by herself how to dance. And it changed everything. It really did. I had so much more fun after that. And that speaks to one human truth that we found is that people want to do things that other people are doing when they're having fun. And composting, we found when we talked to a lot of people in Oakland where there's a big composting community, is that a lot of people there are composting simply because the people around them are also composting. Now, the Dirty app has a window so you can see who else is composting around you. It has a guide and an education tool so that it facilitates it for you to be able to compost more easily. It has a feed for events and projects so that you're aware of things a little bit more easily. It's got a market so you can buy the bare essentials to get you moving. It's really just a facilitator to connect people who are composting through messaging and to be able to trade.
But we wanted to make it more than just an app. We wanted to turn it into a movement to get other people who are already or aren't composting already involved. And so we created those little characters you saw, the little microbes that go through the dirt, they eat stuff, and then they're saving the world, you know? And so we wanted to make those really fun and energetic and exciting and customizable, because what we found is, you know, a lot of conservation efforts and methods, they're often like kind of dry, and they're a little, like they seem like a little bit like a chore, and they're very individualized. When you go home and you recycle, you put your own recycling in a bin, you take it out to the street by yourself, and you never really talk about it with your neighbors, but you all kind of do it, but you just never, it's something you just don't talk about. And so we wanted compost to be something that you share with your friends and you show other people that you're doing it too. And so that's why we created these stickers that you can slap on the back of your car and turn into a bumper sticker and customize it to fit your personality. So you can show the world that you compost too, and it's okay if you want to join. And then we also wanted to extend the idea by talking with pop-up tents around at local farmers markets. And they'll have materials that we can use to send ideas to our target, which is 19 to 30-year-olds, to tell them, you know, and give them ideas of how to start composting and just to give them a little bit of help along the way.
And we've seen how technology can actually be a catalyst to huge movements. We've seen it in history recently with the Twitter revolution in Egypt. We saw it with the Arab Green Revolution. And we know that composting is something that can change the world, and this also needs a revolution. This needs a catalyst. And we feel that this has all the facets necessary to catapult this into a big movement. It also has an intrinsic reward mechanism. We're not going to do an exchange mechanism where you get rewarded for as much doing it. No, we're going to keep it something wholesome and something true, something grassroots where you feel good about what you're doing for your community. It also has a lower barrier to entry because this is individual and you do it yourself with your app. We don't need partnerships to be able to get this to move by itself.
And like to jump onto that, when we say low barrier entry, we can literally do this really quick. While we create these stickers and the things that are shareable, and we create these pop-up tents, that's when we can use the time to work on the app, but we can start doing that right away. And so Passion, look, your ideas are super cool, they're kick-ass, and I think they need to spread a whole lot easier, and I think this will help.
Matt, this campaign has legs. These characters are amazing, they're super cute, they're customizable, everybody can do it.
And Dave, we can start this right away.
So,
This is so spontaneous.
So, because we know that there's composting. The composting's getting done. The Dirty app is what Jasmine Castillo was to me when she taught me how to dance.
So we're going to ask you to dance in a minute. But any questions, please, from everybody, David, Passion, but also we're turning this out to everybody. So please ask away if there are any questions. Questions.
Come on.
One always starts a bunch. No, nothing?
How, when you talk about integrating it, what do you imagine, how are you going to align if the application can really be something that's real? How would we align with companies, restaurants, and how would that work?
So I think it starts with people who are already composting like you, and where you get other people who are already composting to start using the app, and then encouraging other people to get involved with like the stickers and all that other kind of stuff. And you're talking about aligning with companies. I think that could be done with using the sticker. Like, have you seen when you travel around and you see like the little owl on the window, that kind of thing, where you have a sticker outside the window that says "Accompany Compost." I know there's some McDonald's people here that you were just talking to. Where maybe they can start using food scraps and partner with you guys and start composting that using your network.
There's something really real that's happening in the world that we're all aware of, you know, and if we don't take care of this planet, things that are bad are starting to happen. We're being able to see it. And having said that, a lot of companies are being held accountable. So companies have to align themselves with initiatives like this in order for them to show that they're making an effort to not, make the world go down.
I imagine you went through a couple of different ideas when you were brainstorming. So what was the inspiration? What was that eureka moment that led you to conclude this was the best idea?
It actually, he didn't want to do another app, and we were just reluctant. He's all like, no more apps. But it wasn't until we started doing some of that need finding and some of that exploration with people, and they needed a way to be able to join and come together. And the ubiquity of applications and phones made it something that was gonna help.
Thank you very much. Thanks. All right, wonderful. Coming up from Savannah, from SCAD, Stephanie Gomez, Rebecca Antonucci.
Surprised he said my name right.
I know, that's impressive. Both of our names. All right, so we're Stephanie Gomez and Rebecca Antonucci. I'm an art director. Can you hear me? All right, I'm an art director, and my partner's the copywriter. So let's start the video.
Gone are the days when only hippies saved the earth. It's time for Detroit to act natural and for the dirtbags to make a difference. We want to show Detroit that composting is stupid simple, so we made it that way with the Dirtbag Project. At grocery stores, farmers markets, and urban farms, Detroiters can pick up a brown bag with all the info they need to start composting. They can even compost the bag since it's printed with soy-based inks. On one side, a quick intro tells them what being a dirtbag is all about. A step-by-step process is shown on the back. And on the other side, the bag provides tips and tricks for composting. A URL leads to the Dirtbag Project website, where they can find specifics. Dirtbags learn what they can and cannot compost. They can also find the nearest drop-off locations if they don't want to compost at home. A hashtag makes it easy to find dirtbag friends and share the project. Composting is simple. Just don't waste your waste, you dirtbags.
So, like the video says,
Go dirtbags.
okay, so like the video says, we think that composting can be really, really simple, stupid simple. But right now, that's not really how people see it. They see it as this kind of like grueling, stinky chore, like you were saying. It's just a lot of work, and it doesn't really feel like something you want to jump into, despite the fact that it really is a great cause. But with the Dirtbag Project, what we want to do is flip that perception around and make composting seem super, super simple, which it can be. And to do that, we used a kind of snarky voice, as you may have heard, and got really conversational so that we made it really easy for people to see how they could start this process.
All right, so really the dirtbag is about an idea of not too much commitment. Really, it's very little. You get at a supermarket or a grocery store or a farmer market, of course. But really, when we started this project and we were researching about it, is people don't Google composting. I mean, we Googled it because of this project. That's pretty sad. And when we Googled it, it became very complicated. There's nothing very reliable on it. There's so many ways to do things, and it's just very confusing, and it's actually very threatening. So by using this voice, we felt that we were going to be very relatable. Something else that we did was we decided to find another purpose to brown paper bags. So currently, if you go to a grocery store and you get a brown paper bag, yeah, it's recyclable, but it's not compostable for the simple reason, that it's not printed in soy-based ink. So by printing these paper bags in soy-based ink, it becomes compostable. You rip it apart, and it just becomes part of the browns. And go for it.
So like Steph was saying, this was already existing out there. It's just a matter of reprinting these bags with the soy-based ink. And because they're already existing in grocery stores, that presents an opportunity to partnership with these farmers market and grocery stores and to sort of leverage it in that way so that you can kind of weave composting into the fabric of everyone's daily routine without being interruptive or annoying or making people feel like they have to be a granola crunching tree hugger to start doing their part. So essentially, the Dirtbag Project is easy to execute, it's easy to understand no matter what type of dirtbag you might be, and it makes composting easy. So that's it.
Awesome. You guys are great. Questions? Yes.
I think about the video, you showed the side of the bag and it said brown-green ratio.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing, and also your instructions on how to succeed while you're composting. I tried 6 months ago, didn't really work out.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Well,
have
you need one of
brown
these.
ratio, and I don't have a bag like that, so.
There's actually tips as well on this side. They're pretty cool and really funny to read. If you want, I can read you one. Yeah, let's do that one.
So I drew a lot of inspiration from The Onion. Thanks, Luke. Anyways, so one of the tips is something like, things getting hot and steamy, that's how dirtbags like it. Means the decomp is working. So just...
Questions? questions? No. Well, then pose for you. Oh, Passion.
So do you feel like this is more of a farmer's market in grocery store? Or do you feel like this could be integrated into any market?
Right. So I think we're suggesting the farmer's market and grocery to start out, but potentially, like, if we show that this is a simple idea that can be universal, this could be, restaurants could start to use them, they can start picking them up at other locations, but for the purposes of getting it off the ground, we suggested the grocery stores, just so it can gain some traction.
To add to that, you are shopping for groceries at these places, so that's what you would be composting in theory. So we felt like it joined very well, especially to launch it. Any other questions?
Which one of you laughed loudest when the idea of dirt bags was first suggested?
It was weird because being Copy, I loved the word dirtbag and wanted to play off of that, and she wanted to use one media to keep it simple. So we both came and met up after class one day, and we were like, dirtbags, dirtbags.
Dirtbags. Well, so the whole thing was like, this is what I remember. We were working in this little room, and Becca was reading just a bunch of headlines she had written, because we were like struggling. We were like, how are we gonna start this? And she just kept like throwing dirtbags, and I was like, damn it, Becca, really? Dirtbags? Like, okay, we gotta go for that. And then as we were just trying to find a different way to put it out there, it was just like the brown paper bags and dirt bags came so perfectly. So it was pretty great. Any other questions? Go for it.
So with implementation, what do you guys think is this sync, or I guess, so is it only being implemented, or starting being implemented through grocery stores? What do you think is the key for its implementation to be a success?
Sorry, can you
Can you rephrase that?
For when you're implementing it for it to be a success.
You're saying if we're implementing it at the grocery stores, how will it spread?
I guess, yeah, how can you, where do you think
So part of that is that we would want to partner with grocery stores, local, if we can start local and then go bigger. I mean, let's go Kroger, let's go Publix. I think something that's out there, we can include their logos and everything they want to add on that. But really, just to start it, I would say that's the way to do it. Start small.
But that's not to say that wherever it would work and we found those possibilities, like it doesn't necessarily even need to stay in Detroit. You can have your Austin dirt bags or New York dirt bags. Everybody can be a dirt bag.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to be a dirt bag? Just kidding, right? Just kidding.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. I think I am already.
Guys, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, last and definitely not least, hometown favorites, Melanie Duong and Dylan Schnurman.
Hey guys.
How y'all doing?
We're gonna sit. Sorry.
So, for those of you who haven't seen our video yet, we're gonna play it. The United States is only 6% of the world's population, but produces half of the world's garbage. The EPA estimates that about 25 to 30% of our garbage is made up of plant matter and can be composted. Reality is, most Americans don't know that or don't care.
We are initiating a new ordinance to reduce waste in our landfills. The Austin Residential Trash Collection will be returning each household's waste back into their yards. Please go online to check the trash deposit schedule for your area.
To add to the drama, we will faux dump trash. People will freak out, but more importantly, they will listen.
Only after they go to our website will viewers find out it's all a hoax. Here they will gain access to tons of information on composting. Visitors can even enter their zip codes to find local programs and farms to donate their compost to.
This campaign can live anywhere, no matter the city. We can add fake newspaper articles, proposition posters, and false outrage on social media. When it comes to our trash, out of sight shouldn't be out of mind. So does anyone else hate hearing the sound of their own voice? That was me talking. So for those of you that this is the first time you've seen, you probably have a lot of questions, like are you actually gonna go out and pick random residents and dump trash in their yards? And it's staged, but we want to seem like that we would actually do that. So I kind of want to talk about where this idea came from. And when we were talking, one of the things we realized is that a lot of people don't care about issues unless it happens in their very own backyard. And we took this literally. We took it literally, and that's kind of where the idea came from. Before we can tell someone to download this app, go to this website, or like this is how you compost, we were thinking like, how do we get people to care about it? Like, why should we care? And that's basically where that idea came from.
Yeah, and we didn't want to create something that felt like an ad. We just wanted to present the issue to people and get them to take notice, and then for them to start asking questions. So when we were initially brainstorming, we had some other ideas, but they just seemed too forward, like we were just giving them information. We decided like we need to do something that's a little bit out there. We've all heard it before, but we're living in this age of distraction where you're being pulled in 100 different directions, you're being bombarded with 100 different messages, and it's just like, we need to do something that just could cut through the clutter and really grab their attention and say, hey, there's nowhere else we can put this garbage. Like, we're just totally full. Here, we're giving it back to you. Like, this is your issue. We need to deal with it. And kind of just continue on there, we decided, we really got to make this an integrated campaign. We can't just have it exist in print or TV alone. We decided that initially it would be almost this like guerrilla or prank devising scenario, and then we build from there to like a social aspect where people are outraged, to even like PR press news releases, so the public can just keep building. And again, that was what we kind of liked, is that it's a campaign that can just be built upon, and we were even talking the other day, it'd be really funny if we had some people who had the trash dumped on their lawns to kind of do some selfie videos and just outrage, like, I can't believe the city did this to me. And in that sense, they're kind of in on the joke.
Yeah, people like to be in on the joke, and we really like this idea because it kind of takes people along for the ride, and then once they figure out that, oh, it's a joke, that's funny, I want to trick someone else, it's really shareable, it would get a lot of attention, and yeah.
Yeah. And this whole issue, this whole contest and the issue of composting, we feel is just a small step to bigger issues of environmental sustainability. And we're hoping that we can grab people's attention and get them to start caring, get them to start asking questions about how they can make a difference and just make a bigger, better world.
Because composting is really like the first step, and we're hoping that once people get attention, we get their attention and they go to the website and they're like, oh, this is really easy, like anyone can do this, then they're gonna be motivated to tell people, like, I wanna tell other people that it's easy too, and motivate them to do other things for their environment.
Compost that. Thank you, guys. Question.
I really like the concept. I think you're kind of like, kind of beating somebody over the head with knowledge, and that's a good idea. I also think it really goes hand in hand with recycling as well. So you're right there with that. So really good job.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea. What is it? Did you ever give any thought to what you could do from a social aspect, or with the idea to have it sort of take off? Like, you remember the Ice Bucket Challenge, and which did you think about that, or like what you could do to really fuel the social sharing of this?
We figured that like if a lot of the content looks like it's consumer generated, then it'd more likely be shared, because if it's like, maybe if you get your neighbor and they like post a video like using their iPhone camera and they post it, like more people are gonna talk about it, and there'll be like kind of a sense of like viability to it.
All right. Thank you, guys. This is the part of American Idol where like they cut to commercial and they go vote, and it's like, oh my gosh, who's gonna win? So we're gonna take a couple minutes. David, Passion, and I are gonna retreat to some hidden lair in this place and talk it out.
I think he means the bar.
Yeah, there is 4 parts to the voting. 1, 2, 3 votes, and then a 4th vote was conducted online for Facebook friends on Facebook that was just out to the public. I think we got close to like 8,000 votes, 7,000 votes total, but the team with the most votes gets 1 extra vote in this series, comes from SCAD. So congratulations, ladies. 2,463 online votes. So that's pretty great that people are out, people are listening, and people are really loving your stuff. So with that, we're gonna be back in, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes. I don't know. Have a drink. Idea.
Hold on. We got to hang in chat.
It actually was UT.
Wait.
UT won that one, the online votes.
Oh, I feel horrible. I circled the wrong one. It was UT that got. I feel horrible. I'm so sorry. I circled it like an idiot. Like, it's so honestly bad. Okay. That didn't happen. UT, you guys won. Congratulations. You guys, I'm a mess. Good job. Okay, good job. Hometown favorites. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for alerting me. I'm getting off the stage. I'm not doing any more. Okay, we're gonna make an announcement, a much anticipated announcement. Before we do, I think there's a couple things Passion would like to say.
First off, I think all of the ideas were absolutely awesome. Me personally, I would wish all of you could win and we could combine all the ideas because they're all important. I think when it comes to an application, that's something that's needed amongst composters. We discussed that at the U.S. Composting Council, that there needed to be something as far as an application to get the stories out there. But I think as far as push, telling the stories and connecting is something that's really needed up, from the beginning in the first few steps. You gotta kind of unify people around the country or the world to understand why we need to be diverting waste and the importance of it. I think as far as the dirt bag, awesome concept. I see grocery stores and farmers markets really pushing something like that, but I still think in the beginning we have to get some type of campaign or application out there for people to start understanding this first and getting a common language that we all can speak, and then start to look at next steps as far as what we need to do. But I think all of you did an awesome job. I would personally like to stay in touch and see what's going on with you in the future, and I think all the ideas can be combined. So you're all winners to me, but unfortunately they have to pick a winner. But what an awesome job you did.
Let me build on that. First of all, I mean, this, as I said to you guys the other night, this was a very Darwinian process, but welcome to our business, right? A lot of creative thinking from around the country, the 32 entries, and to get to this stage, to be the 3 teams to emerge to the stage, you should be very proud of it, because we were inspired looking at your work. What I loved, being that you're students of this business and getting into the industry that excites us so much. What I loved is that the 3 finalists showed great insights into human behavior, into how communications works. I mean, they were ideas that our teams would have been suggesting. I mean, it was really, really good ideas. I loved something in all of them. So, I mean, certainly, you know, in Dirty, the app, I mean, we live in a mobile-first world. If it's not on our phone, it doesn't exist. And you nailed that insight, and that's awesome. In terms of dirt bags, first of all, great branding, right? A great creative hook, you know, be a dirt bag. And also just sort of nail the insight that, you know, it's hard to get human beings to do something. So just to show up in the grocery store, show up on my kitchen counter because the bag showed up, you know, again, that showed great insight. And then ultimately push in terms of a communications idea. We know that it is hard to get people to care about things, and it's hard to break through the social white noise and to come up with an idea that would actually pierce, you know, sort of the white noise. I thought was really awesome. So on 3 different levels, 3 different reasons, 3 awesome ideas. But now we'll get to the one.
Dun-dun-dun. So we spoke a lot. We had great conversations. You know, I think led by kind of David and my input from my creative input, but from a business standpoint of where Passion's business is at and the composting movement is at, kind of in the cycle of things, and then Passion's input to like, this is my business. I care, and so it was an interesting three-pronged approach that came to a decision, and ultimately the winner of 60 Seconds to Southwest.
Proud drum roll.
Melanie Duong and Dylan Schnerman. Wonderful. So,
Like, honestly, we just kind of did this for fun, and we just came up to each other one day. It's like, this kind of looks cool. You want to take a stab at it? And,
Yeah.
And like, we all know that composting is such like a really important issue right now, and so we all decided, you know, if we can come up with the next big idea of how to get people to compost, it would be really amazing to do that for the world.
And best of all, we get to come to South by Southwest, and it's been amazing so far, meeting all these people from Team Detroit, and
Yeah, Team Detroit has been so awesome, and everyone is just so inspiring, and just like listening to people talk, it's great. Team Detroit's all about creating change, and UT is about what starts here changes the world. So we're glad we can represent our school in this way.
yeah, hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em.